Okay. Alrighty. New microphone. Hopefully good audio this time for once. I sincerely hope at least. Man. We are officially back. Just spent, dude. Let me give you guys, first off, I hope you are all doing absolutely amazing. I apologize for, I took down the previous upload I made, unfortunately. Was not satisfied with the Cardo mic quality by any means, unfortunately. So I deleted them just because I didn't think it was very good. It was, I mean, it was not very good. It was awful. I just didn't think it. I knew it. But finally done fighting with my GoPro after buying about 3 or 4 different mics that were all not working. I finally got it, and I think it was just an issue with my GoPro settings themselves, but I hope not. I'm going to say that's not what it was, just because I don't want it to be that, because then I wasted a bunch of money. Man, it's good to be back, though. I mean, microphone's working finally. The objective for today is we're just running to the store to get chicken. I've been letting this thing sit for too long. I haven't ridden in like, oof, goodness gracious, smacked my GoPro. I haven't ridden my bike in probably 2 weeks. It's like 100 degrees out, and it's been consistently like 100 out, so I haven't really wanted to get out. As you can see, this thing got dusty. Wow. I need to clean my bike. I'll make a video on how to clean your motorcycle or something like that later this week. It's pretty easy. I do apologize if I'm yelling. I am wearing earplugs, so I can't really hear myself. So I'm going to hope I'm not too loud, but there's all chance it is. If I am, hopefully I can fix it in the editing. If not, I do apologize in advance. Yeah, gosh. Oh, sorry, that was a lot. How's everybody doing? Hope you're all doing great. Welcome back to one more video. So, little update on my game plans is I'm hoping to be uploading about 3 times a week. I want to try and upload Monday, Wednesday, and then probably Saturdays, maybe Sundays. It just depends on my ability to get footage over the weekends. There is a big ol' ride this Saturday, like a big group ride. I want to say I'll probably go, but not positive. I think I'll probably go just for kind of the footage, but we'll see. We'll see. I might just do a little like mountain canyon ride with the gang and make a video out of that, but I'm not entirely sure. Wow. My Cardo is still so loud even with earbuds. Maybe that's just me. Total side note, Ski Mask the Slump God, my goat, dropped a song again. I love this man. But yeah, alrighty. So, I'm also going to start a series. I mean, I'll probably make one big video on YouTube about it. And then on my Instagram, which is that BLUEGSXR, same as my YouTube, talking about how to ride a motorcycle, you know, the steps walking up to it, and you know, how to practice, how to turn, all that fun stuff, you know, just for all the new riders out there who, you know, have no background of like dirt bike riding, motorcycle riding, or anything like that, or don't have family who have, and they're the first one to own one. Since, I mean, it can be, I was lucky and my dad rode motorcycles, so he taught me the basics of how to ride, and I got really lucky. Not everyone has somebody in their family who has ridden motorcycles, or still can ride motorcycles to teach them, so I figure, why not make a video since I have the ability to. Anyways, yeah, that's that. Which, I don't know, I have a lot of people like ask me like, oh, what should I, you know, will you help me learn how to ride, or like I'm buying a bike this summer, or like stuff along those lines. And it's like, I want to help everyone I can in every way I can to ride. I love riding. I've said it multiple videos in the past. This is my favorite hobby. I don't ride for the popularity contest that it's become. If you bought a leader bike for your first bike, you ride motorcycles for the popularity contest. Simple as that. I don't care what anyone else says, or I don't care what you say, that's the truth. But yeah, for those who don't know, I'll kind of give a brief little rundown, I guess, on me and my history behind riding, because I don't think I've done that before. So I started riding motorcycles when I was in high school. No, I did not always have a sport bike. I actually started on a Honda Grom, which I think was the best thing ever. Wrecked the Honda Grom trying to do, not a mountain run, I guess, on windy roads. Went into a corner way faster than I should have. Didn't know how to properly corner, and wrecked, which is standing proof as to why it's good to start on a smaller bike. Had I been on a big bike and I went into that corner too fast, it would have been far worse. But I crashed, and I put 2 holes in my left knee down to bone. Not a fun experience, very awful experience, and I dented my knee inwards an inch. Terrible experience, which is why I preach about safe riding and wearing your gear a lot. I wrecked and I got lucky, which is why I say start on a low CC. You don't have to start on a Honda Grom like me. That could be, I mean, I understand growing out of that. Unless you want to stunt a Honda Grom, there's not a whole lot you can do on them. I mean, it's good to look for learning the basics, but outside of that, not the most awesome thing, you know. But for a longer lasting starting bike, obviously R3, Ninja 400. You can start on an R7, stuff like that. The only thing is it has more torque, so it's a little bit easier to kick that front wheel up, which can punish new riders if you whiskey throttle. But aside from all that, yeah, no, just any low. I wouldn't recommend a 600cc even. I mean, I've had this bike for 2 years and I barely pushed it the first year, just because I was, you know, I'll be honest, I was scared of the bike. You know, obviously you can be okay, it's just, you know, less forgiving, and in my opinion, it'll be harder for you to learn how to properly ride, corner, stuff like that, just because a lot of 600cc's are on the, gosh dang it, I always hit neutral, bro. What was I saying? A lot of the 600s are heavier than a 300, so getting good at leaning, in my opinion, can be harder. Like, I didn't have my R3 near, I had an R3 before this, and I didn't have it near as long as I wish I would have. I think there was a lot of learning I probably could have done on my R3. So I mean, that's a partial regret, but I kind of fell into the, oh, all my friends have big bikes, so I need a big bike. So I sold mine pretty quick and bought this thing. Not that I regret it, because I do love this bike. I think it's awesome, and you know, I've had a lot of good memories on this thing. You know, never a bad moment on it. Well, for the most part. Yeah. So, anyways, after the Grom, had that for another year. So I had the Honda Grom for 2 years, got an R3 for a year, and I've had this bike for 2 years now. So, or no, I've had, yeah, well, going on 2 years with this thing. Yeah, I mean, good old-fashioned classic, just like ride your ride. You know, be safe when you're riding, do your thing, take the time to learn. Don't just, you know, I know people who have bought big bikes and thought that that's what it's all about, and that's not true. You know, I've seen numerous people crash and nearly die because they were in that mindset. So just don't do it. Yeah. Well, I guess since we're on the basis of starter stuff, gear. Boots, I would recommend. You don't have to have them. I would highly recommend getting them as soon as you can, just because of most of the injury, in my opinion, happens on your lower body, because it tends to be the first thing to impact, and a lot of ankles get snapped in wrecks. So I do recommend boots. Obviously a helmet, you know what I mean. Buy the Sedici Stratus, great starter helmets. HJCs are good. You know, if you want kind of a nicer but cheaper helmet, buy Scorpion. They're phenomenal. Don't be afraid to spend money on good gear. I mean, I wouldn't go buy a carbon helmet for your first helmet, just in the case that you do crash. You really don't want to ruin that. Oh, I need to go left here. I am not paying attention, y'all. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend buying a carbon helmet for your first helmet, but like if that's what you do, then you know, you do you. Like as long as you have a helmet, that's what really matters at the end of the day, is that you have a helmet. You know, I think even Harleys should wear helmets. I hate seeing Harleys not riding helmets. And I mean, you know, obviously try and buy a jacket. My jacket saved my upper body in my wreck. Obviously I didn't have riding pants, which I also recommend. You know, and there's good brands that I didn't know about, like Ride Rich is the ones I wear. And then there's also NBT, which makes more normal looking riding pants, like they just look like another pair of jeans. Which those are nice. I have a pair of them. I don't wear them too much, just because they've kind of gotten sun bleached low-key, or something got on them and they low-key are pink. But yeah, great brands. I mean, gear's expensive, but I mean, it's worth it to buy. I don't think it's worth it to not buy it. I mean, it's the consequences of not buying gear and the result are far greater than if you just buy the gear and spend the money. Because I mean, I'd much rather spend money on gear than on hospital bills. You know what I mean? You know, protect your skin, protect your bones. You know, it's not just the slide that hurts, but also the impacts. You know, like I said, I dented the side of my knee inwards about an inch. So it's not just the slides, so make sure it has padding, so if you do go down, you know, your joints, your bones aren't gonna break. But anyways, that's enough of that. Oh man, it's been roasting hot where I'm from, so I've been really lacking motivation. So when I'm not out riding, I mean I haven't been good at it, but I do have a secondary channel. I'll put it at the end of the video. I'm gonna post gaming content, stuff like that. You know, I don't know how many of you are really gonna be interested in that, but I mean, I figure if I'm playing video games when I'm not riding, you know, I might as well do something with it. You know, if you're good at something, don't do it for free. Simple as that. You know, it's kind of same thing as with that channel as this one. Like, I don't really expect this or that channel to blow up and become famous. Like, that's not my... Obviously that'd be awesome, but you know, it's more of I'm just kind of posting, just, you know, just for the heck of it, you know. I mean, people like riding motorcycles. Not everybody can own a motorcycle or ride one, you know, but they enjoy them, so why not make a video for the ones that do enjoy motorcycles, you know what I mean? Oy, oy. My bike is getting hot, bruh. Bike is getting so hot. This is the why I haven't been taking out, dude. You can't go around town, like, not on my bike, dude. My bike runs so warm. That's like everyone goes slow. Like, we're going 5 under the speed limit right now. Like, did I pass the store? No, I didn't. I don't think I did. Uh-oh. No, it's up here on the left. No, I'm still good. I'm chilling. Yeah. You know, let's give some motorcycle hot takes. BMW S1000RR, overrated, so overrated. I've seen those things get gapped by like every bike in existence. Sorry if you own one. I've seen so many things gap them. At least the new ones suck. The 2012 to 2014s, they're awesome, phenomenal bikes. They go crazy. They're insane. They're stupid fast. Your ZX6R is not hitting 180. No 600 is hitting 180. I mean, not without... Yes, there are some that have, but not without modifications. You're not hitting 180 stock on any 600, and your R7's not doing 160. I'm sorry to break it to you guys. I know you think they will, but they won't. See what else? Glorifying speeding and death is stupid. And if you glorify speeding and that stuff, you're a part of the problem. You ride a bike for the popularity contest. You don't do it because you enjoy riding motorcycles, or, you know, most people who ride don't even watch MotoGP or the Superbike World Championship, etc. All that fun stuff. Like, people neglect that shit, which is not cool. Whew, it is hot as hell. What the fuck? Oh. Whew. I forgot my backpack. The other reason I don't like riding in 100-degree weather is because I wear all black gear. And I don't know if you know much about the sun and wearing black gear, but you roast. You absolutely roast. Like, I'm dying of heat. I was just gonna get chicken, but I might get a drink too. Oh wait, no, I have a root beer float waiting for me. Only other downside of wearing boots, sorry, this is a total side note, is, bro, your feet get stanky because they sweat, so you gotta make sure you wash your feet. Wash your feet tons. Addie, can I just get 5 chicken tenders? Thank you. Man, it does feel phenomenal to be inside a building with AC though. Holy cow. I'm sweating, I can feel it drop under my eye. Oof. I'm gonna be so sweaty when I take this thing off. I'm gonna get all this gear off, but it's cool, it's cool, it's worth it. It is worth it.
Your total is 4. Please wait. System processing. Follow the instructions on the pin pad. Please remember to take your receipt.
You too. Okay. Chicken acquired. Now I gotta get it home without losing it from my sweatshirt pocket because I forgot my freaking backpack. And without crushing it. That was quick, that was easy. Anyways. Which means my bike had no time to cool down. I think we're gonna take freeway back. Freeway to a little windy road on the way back just for the heck of it. I am saddened though, dude. I've had to. I would have bought a Red Bull, but dude, Red Bull's expensive. Red Bull is so expensive. I can't lie. I don't like buying it anymore. And I want to, because I have a crippling Red Bull addiction. I've had a crippling Red Bull addiction forever. I love that stuff, dude, but it's getting expensive. I'm a broke college student, for those of you who don't know. I am a broke college student. I don't have money. Not most of the time. I budget big time so I can have money, but whew. Most of it is being saved for vacations currently, which I'm actually hyped for. Good reason to save your money. I'm a big fan of traveling. And you can say what you want, bro, but I'm going to Disney next spring for my 21st birthday. Man, these earplugs hurt my freaking ears. Goodness gracious, I got earplugs. They are killing my ears, man. Alright, man. Oh, hey, we're cooling down pretty good, actually. I'm surprised. I am surprised. I'm baking. I'm gonna be pooled in sweat when I get home. But it's okay. It's worth it. Important thing, when riding in the summer at least, drink lots of water. Make sure you stop on occasion, especially on these high days. I think it's supposed to get upwards of 100 a day for me. So it's like on days like that, make sure you're stopping when you're riding. Don't ride for 6 hours straight in your gear. Wear your gear if you're willing to, and just stop every once in a while. Get something cold to drink. I understand on these hot days not wearing a drink. I'm not wearing a shirt under this sweatshirt just because I didn't want to layer up because it's hot. I understand that. Being in the summer in motorcycle gear blows, but, you know, I still stand by the fact that's important. I mean, you don't have to wear your gear every time, but if you're going to be, at least if you're doing stupid shit, wear your gear. Pardon my French. Yeah, we're going to go around. Yeah, don't be dumb. You know, if you're being dumb, especially wear your gear. You know, you'll be alright. A lot of people say you're bound to crash or this and that, and it's like, no, you only crash if you're being stupid. I mean, obviously there's cases of wrecks where it's not your fault, but you know, I think you're in more control of the motorcycle than people think, oh my goodness, which makes it easy for motorcyclists to put the blame on everybody else, I think, in my opinion. Like, here's a story time. There was a couple months ago, I think it was months, it might have been a couple weeks actually, but a motorcyclist pulled a gun out and shot at a dude driving an SUV because he was lane splitting, and he almost got hit by the guy in the SUV while he was lane splitting. Well, where we're from, lane splitting is illegal. And it's like, why are you going to try and shoot a guy when you're the one doing something wrong? Like, you almost get hit because you're doing something illegal. Like, yes, you know, it sucks that the guy almost got hit, but in a state where lane splitting is illegal, like it is in most places, people are not watching you to come up the center of the road. Like, that's not... People aren't doing that, and they're like, oh, watch out for bikers. Well, quit putting yourself in situations where you're not going to be seen. You know, stay in visual spots. Don't go, and if you do lane filter and it's illegal, at least don't lane filter at 50 miles an hour. You know, go 15. Go a reasonable speed where you're not flying through the cars, you know, because that's asking to get hit. Same thing. Kind of same thing I was just talking about. There's a lot more in the biker's control than what people think. Everyone say, oh, it's not always the biker, like, keep an eye out, but you know, a lot of it's on the biker. I hate to say it. I do hate to say it. Don't speed on busy roads. I wanted to talk about this in my last video, but you know, there's a time and place for all the dumb stuff. I unfortunately lost a friend this year. He was speeding where he shouldn't have been speeding, and unfortunately collided headfirst with a truck that was turning on a yellow while he was going straight. Should the truck have double checked before he went? Yes. Was my buddy speeding? Also yes. You know, it's you know, I think in my opinion both parties are at fault there, which, you know, I hate to say because I don't want to pin my friend dying on him, but you know, there's contributing factors to all of it. You know what I mean? You know, it's the truth. You know, you can't do things that increase your risk on the road. You know, we're on bikes. You know, we already have a higher chance of getting hit and killed in a crash than anybody else. So don't do things to increase that risk. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not worth it. Just not worth it. Yeah, there's a lot more to life than motorcycles. You know, I see a lot of people saying, oh, I hope I die on my bike. No, you don't, man. You have a family that loves you. You have friends that love you. You know, and with it being, I guess it's July now, but, you know, mental health is huge. You know, I see a lot of posts saying, oh, my bike is my therapy. Like, no, it's not. Go get real help, genuinely. Like, if you're genuinely having mental health problems or you're suicidal, go get real help. Like, it's not... I understand bikes are fun, but they are dangerous, and they will take your life. No, it's not worth it. You know, there's too many... You're too young to lose your life to a machine. You know, there's people waiting at home for you every time you get on a bike, and that's the most important thing to remember. You know, it's you know, to go out and ride recklessly is selfish. You know, for your own enjoyment, you're risking putting everyone else through an immense amount of pain when you're gone. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not worth the risks. No, be safe. Go get real help. You know, I understand the bike is therapy. You know, after I quit playing baseball, my life felt empty, and I started riding motorcycles. And motorcycles filled that hole, and I thought it was the greatest thing ever. You know, I thought that this was the best thing to come of life, and that's not true. You know, I have the best girlfriend in the world waiting at home for me. I have a brother waiting at home for me. I got grandparents. I got parents. You know, and it's easy when you're in a bad mind space to forget about all that. But there's so many people that want and need you here. You know what I mean? So just you know, take care of yourselves. Mental health is important. You know, and talk to somebody. You know, I know plenty of people who have taken their lives, unfortunately, and it's not. You know, it's sad. You know what I mean? So much life left to live, and yeah, that's all I got to say about that. You know, just go get help. Go get help. You know, your story matters. I don't know, mental health is a big thing I advocate about. I also think that if you are having mental health problems, I know this isn't a thing for everybody, and you can say what you want. I love to turn to the Bible. I love Jesus. And you can say what you want about that, but you know, I'm a Jesus person. Jesus died on a cross for our sins. Don't take that for granted. Don't take that for granted. Good things will come of having a relationship with God. I can't. The first moment I realized I wanted a relationship with God was actually when I crashed my motorcycle. I always keep a cross in my gear, and I remember after I wrecked, I just kept asking for my cross and making sure I had it. I kept asking my dad. I was like, "Where's my cross? Where's my cross? Where's my cross? Like, I need my cross." And you know, thankfully, obviously, I didn't lose it. I don't know why I thought I did. I was panicked. I was concerned, and it was funny. One of the worst things that's happened in my life. The first person I'm asking for is God, in a sense. You know what I mean? I wasn't asking for God himself to show himself, but I was asking for that cross. You know, the safety and the peace of that thing represents and brings is what I was looking for. And I got it, thankfully. Wow, I'm dying, dude. My bike is roasting my legs. I should probably, after this, I need to check my coolant before I go ride again. I'm not gonna lie. I need to go buy coolant. I think I'm gonna upload this same day that I just recorded this. So obviously, I'm talking to you when you're watching it now. But when this is recorded, I'm gonna head home, which is what I'm doing right now, and immediately upload this for you guys. I don't really know what I've talked about today. Yeah, shoot, dude. I don't know. Hopefully, I'm at least semi-entertaining. I know I'm not like cracking jokes or pointing out weird things or doing anything fun, but we'll get there. I'm still new to this whole thing, guys. Bear with me. You know, I only have 3 videos uploaded. Make sure I still have my chicken. Yeah, I only have 3 videos where I'm talking uploaded. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good time to just talk about random things. You know, I don't think I'm not gonna try and be funny or try and be like a weird ADHD type of guy. That's cringe. That's weird. Yeah. Let's get how about some wheelie action? How do the peeps feel about maybe a little wheelie up here? If there's no cops. Too fast. So for those of you who don't, I tried to talk about this in one of my last videos that didn't work. I only do power wheelies. I can't do clutch ups. It's scary, and I haven't figured out how to. So I don't feel confident in doing them, of course, which means I'm not going to do them because I don't want to crash or loop my bike doing it. I don't know what I'm doing because this is I plan on having this bike till it blows up. In all honesty, I don't. Once this thing blows up, then I'll buy a new bike. Which brings me to the next point of buying a bike. don't finance if you don't have to. If you can just wait and save the money, do it. I pulled loans for bikes. I do regret it. I mean, I can afford it, but it's really annoying losing a good chunk of money out of every paycheck for a longer period than if you would have just saved a whole bunch of money instead. So, I mean, I get it. I get the excitement, but as everyone says, they are toys. I mean, this is not a need. So if you can avoid pulling a loan, I would. But, I think for my next bike, I want an Aprilia. I want an RSV4, a new one. I think they're beautiful bikes. I think they sound amazing. So I want one. I think once this thing blows up, if assuming I have enough money, I mean, I'll be out of college and hopefully have a good paying job by then. That's what I want next. Is I want an Aprilia. I think that'd be awesome. I'd love to have a brand new bike like that. I also eventually want to stop riding on the street and do more track riding than I do street riding as I get older. Obviously, just because there's less risk included when you're on the track, a lot more of a controlled environment than the road, which I think is big. You know, especially if something say like I get married and start having kids in the future, which is what I want. I don't want to be out on a motorcycle risking my life on a daily basis, if that makes sense. Like, I want to be able to enjoy my time and spend time with my family. I don't want to die young. Oh, here we go. That one sucked. I also hope that this mic isn't picking up too much bike audio. Like, I'm sure it's picking up a little bit, but man, I can't get it up today. I'm sorry, y'all. There might not be much wheelie action. I don't wheelie enough to like stay consistently good at it, unfortunately. Like, yeah, so I don't know, we'll get it figured out. I'll be able to wheelie soon. I plan on going and learning clutch ups, obviously in a lot. I don't advise doing wheelies on public roads. I just don't think it's safe, and obviously it's a misdemeanor. You'll get a reckless if you get caught, which I don't really want. So I don't run from the cops. That's also a bad idea. If you get a ticket, I've been pulled over 7 times, and I've only gotten a ticket 1 of the times. And that was my very first pullover on my R3, actually, and that motorcycle cop was not very nice. And it was on my birthday, actually, which was just bad luck. But every other ticket I've gotten out of. I mean, cops aren't mean to bikers. They just don't want you killing yourself on a bike, and if you stop and be respectful, you will get out of tickets. Okay, I was stopped by three police officers on one occasion, one of which was a sheriff, no ticket. On a second occasion, I got pulled over by 2 state troopers, no ticket. And then there's one occasion with one of my buddies where they just checked my stuff. There was another time where I got pulled over because I don't have mirrors and front turn signals on my bike, but I rebuilt it, and when I rebuilt it, I got lazy and just didn't want to put them on. And then, yeah, I think there was one more, but I can't remember. I don't know, but I've gotten out of all the tickets is the point I'm making. Just be respectful, and things will go better for you than they would otherwise. That's the big thing. Golly, it's hot. As much as I love recording content and going on a little ride with you guys, I'm a little miserable. I can't lie. My ears hurt from these earplugs. Trying to think of any last words. For those of you who don't know, I am sponsored by Clutch Supply. I'll put a link in the bio. Use code BLUEGXXR for 15% off. They got some cool shirts vanity plates, sweatshirts, decals, all sorts of fun stuff for, you know, motorcycles, cars, you name it. People who don't drive cars and just think it's cool gear. It is a Christian brand, so obviously I'm going to promote it. But yeah, so hopefully there'll be one more video uploaded by Sunday. I don't know when I'm going to get out to record it, just because it is going to be hot. But anyways, that's all I got for you, gang. Till next time.